Google is being forced to sell Chrome, but why?
To big tech now, just because the US Justice Department could be about to push for a breakup of Google.
The Department of Justice has asked a federal judge to force Google to sell off its popular web browser, Chrome.
The Justice Department has formally submitted a proposal to break up Google, calling for the company to sell its Chrome web browser.
We know that this could become one of history's biggest antitrust cases.
It was the year before 2006. That time, Internet Explorer was the king of browsers. But the problem was its incredibly slow speed, unwanted pop-ups and continuous crashing. That was becoming a headache for the internet surfers. Noticing this problem, Sundar Pichai, an IIT graduate from India who recently had joined Google, pitched an idea to the co-founders of developing their own browsers that will be fast, secure and lightweight, as internet users are looking for an alternative in the market. But at Google, not everyone was convinced with his idea. In the year 2006, after much deliberation, Sundar won their support and work on Chrome began in secrecy. Unlike the primitive code language, Chrome was initially based on V8 JavaScript engine to make web pages load faster and sandboxing feature to protect malware attacks. Finally, the day came when a browser was going to be launched that will change the course of history forever, and the day was September 2, 2008, where Google was extremely conscious with each and every customer feedbacks that they were utilizing and enhancing their browser with. Internet Explorer on the other side, sitting back and dreaming that their position in the browser segment can't be challenged by anyone. But they were wrong for the Google Chrome. Within just 2 years of launch, Chrome captured 10% of the browser's market, and by the end of 2012, Chrome dethroned the world's most popular browser of that time. The biggest breakthrough was even achieved when Google acquired Android and made Chrome a default search engine into it. Well, the story doesn't end here. The most competitive player to the Android was iOS, who was using Safari as their default search browser. But when they noticed that the feature Safari was offering is not even closer to Google Chrome, so at the end, for the sake of customer experience, Apple was also forced to make Google a default search engine in Safari. Talking of now, Google owns a massive share of 91.47% in the internet search market, and that's where it caught an eye of the US government's Justice Department, a government organization which has launched a lawsuit against Google, citing that the company has broken the antitrust law. Well, there are probably many reasons as to why Google has attracted such an antitrust allegations against itself. First of all, as per the recently published reports, Google tracks data 43% more often than its competitors like Microsoft or DuckDuckGo, making an illicit move to show ads more often related to consumers' interest, leading to a huge privacy concern violations. Not only this, rival browsers like Brave and Firefox have openly criticized Chrome's dominance, saying that it leaves them with little or no room to innovate. Also, privacy-concerned search engine DuckDuckGo claims it has been systematically sidelined by the Chrome's algorithm. Well, companies getting circled by the government agencies are not new to this world, and Google isn't the first one to face it. In order to maintain proper competition in the market, companies are forced by the government to follow rules, but when violated, strict actions being taken against them. Like in case of Google, either be it European Union or India's Competition Commission, everyone is getting hot of Google manipulating its power and position to crush the competition in the country, hence leaving very little or no room for the competitors to grow. But will the so-called US Department of Justice be able to bring down this massive tech giant to its knee, or will it be just another red eye for the company through which they can easily cope up with? For this, we have to see what the historical facts say. Well, before Google, the other companies on which a massive crackdown has been done by the government is Microsoft and AT&T Communications, two of the well-known companies of the United States. In the late 1990s, Microsoft was the undisputed king of the tech world. Its Windows operating system ran on over 90% of the personal computers. In order to choke the every neck of the competitions, Microsoft began bundling its Internet Explorer browser within Windows, sparking huge controversy. The US Department of Justice, alongside 20 state attorney generals, filed an antitrust lawsuit in 1998. The central accusation was that Microsoft leveraging its Windows monopoly to crush its competition, particularly Netscape Navigator, the leading web browser at that time. The trial revealed internal emails where Microsoft executives discussed plans to cut Netscape off Windows. In 2000, the court ruled that Microsoft had violated antitrust laws. The original remedy was the breakup of Microsoft into two separate companies, one for Windows and the other for the software products. However, this decision was overturned on an appeal. But it has to make settlements like sharing APIs with third-party developers, allowing PC manufacturers to install non-Microsoft softwares on Windows, hence seizing exclusive contracts that hindered competitions. Whereas in the case of AT&T Communication, by the mid-20th century, American Telephone and Telegraph Company was the backbone of telecommunications. Its Bell system controlled almost all telephone services in the United States, holding a legal monopoly since early 1900s. While this arrangement was initially justified to ensure universal telephone access, by the 1970s, critics argued that AT&T's monopoly stifled competition and innovation. The Department of Justice filed a lawsuit against AT&T, accusing it of monopolistic practices. After years of legal battles, AT&T reached a settlement with DOJ in 1982. Under the agreement, AT&T agreed to divest its regional Bell operating companies, splitting into 7 independent entities known as Baby Bells. The Baby Bells consolidated over time, with many merging back into larger entities like Verizon and AT&T Inc., though the market remained more competitive than before.